On today's Broadscast, we've got all the broad topics you're talking about. We do. Kim, are you here?
Sorry.
And we're proving that we are, in fact, man-friendly. Radio personality Marcus Osborne will be here.
Broad topics, broad minds, broad hosts, but not just for broads. This is Broadscast with Kim Goldman and Jackie McDougall.
Today's Broadscast is brought to you by Blue Apron. For a limited time, you can get $30 off your first order. $30. Fresh ingredients delivered to your door, whether it's for your family, for just yourself, for a date, and you want to seem like you can actually cook. Go to broadscast.com for more. So we are actually on Facebook Live this morning.
Hi.
In addition to going live on the radio. Kim, will you get in here?
Yeah,
Move
sorry.
over.
So if it goes out, people, it's because I don't have the...
You have to talk into a microphone.
I do have to talk. You know,
Kim is trying to multitask today. All right, so here's the deal. We're on the radio. Go to our website, broadscast.com, and see where we air. And you can find us maybe in your neighborhood on your radio, or you can listen to us live streaming on broadscast.com. Or now today, we're going to do the first segment. We're going to try to do the first segment on Facebook Live.
So this is going to be great for my my biceps because I'm going to have to hold it the whole, or is it triceps?
Yeah, and it's not good for mine.
Oh, sorry. Here, here, let me have my long
I forgot I was going to put a jacket on, but whatever. I am me. You are you. So welcome to the show, everybody.
Hi, sorry I'm late. I was playing Pokemon Go.
So Kim seriously walked into the studio and what?
3 minutes ago. You can
3
say
minutes
it.
ago?
I was totally late. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she normally shows up about 9:30 for our 10 o'clock Pacific time show. Live, by the way. Live show.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you're aware. Live show.
Yeah.
So Kim showed up at 9:57. And in my head, I had already been looking up the police and fire and whatever else, whatever other people we need to come in and save you, because I am a mother.
Yeah.
I want to know from you guys, other moms, if somebody's late, do you automatically go to this like annoyance place, which I normally do, or this like she's dead place? Because
having the experience that I've had with my brother dying, obviously, I'm a big panic mess when people don't show up at the time that they're supposed to. Like, being on time is really important to me.
Mm-hmm. I could tell.
So, but this is why you got nervous, because I'm always on time. And I usually will send you a note. So, like, your response was very appropriate.
I totally cried.
I know she did. She totally cried. And I was going to try to be, I was going to try to be funny, because I actually walked in wearing two different shoes. And so,
I know. You got to show that.
Yeah.
Wait, but don't show the trash on our floor. Never mind.
Wait, there's one shoe and there's the other. And here's what's funny is they're very similar shoes. So, but I was going to try to make a joke about the fact that I was late because of my shoes, but then you were very visibly upset. And so I appreciate that you were that. But yeah, I get panicked when people don't show up, except I have one friend. She's notoriously late. So if she doesn't show up after a day, then I get nervous. But
we won't out her right here. So I think it is funny that you have two different shoes, but I think what's even funnier is that you have two pairs of shoes in your closet that look so much alike.
I know.
That's a bit...
You could say it. I don't know. It's
a little crazy.
I love my shoes. And what happens is I go shopping. I'm like, oh, I love those. And then I buy them and then realize that I loved them 2 months ago too. So at least I'm consistent.
At least your style doesn't change.
Yeah. But I walked in today like one, because one of the shoes has a heel and the other one doesn't. So
you were like, yeah. Yes. So anyway, now you've been updated with our day, because Kim made me cry already, is wearing two different shoes, and we're attempting to go live in two different places at the same time while I run a board. Right. So this is fun. And a little update with my life, that I still have 4 Chinese exchange students with me, and a friend's daughter, and then my own 3 kids. So if you notice, I have not gotten into the colorist quite yet. I had
Sanity
to cancel.
go!
I had to, sanity go, totally.
Sanity gone, I guess you should say.
We had to cancel. We had a photo shoot, a promotional photo shoot scheduled this week.
Did.
We had to cancel because I am gray. Like, how crazy is that? This is what 8 kids is doing to me.
The beautiful thing though is that had we gone, Renee Bowen, our photographer, she would have been able to make that look like incredible. So
she really could have. She could have photoshopped out my gray.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't in a place that I was feeling like I could be in front of a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Although now look at me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. So I'm excited today because one question we get often, at least I get often, I can't speak for you, is your show just for broads? No, it is not.
Yeah.
It is not. I mean, I am married to a man who I enjoy.
Our promo, we even say we're man friendly.
Yes, we do in our longer open.
Oh, right.
But also Kim likes men. In fact, she's single. So I try to get that in.
Every show.
You're pulling on my computer with your...
I'm trying to rest it because my arm is tired.
Right. So you guys can also comment on Facebook and ask questions during the show, and we'll try to answer. But we have Marcus Osborne. He is a radio personality. He's all over the place. Yeah. He's like a fill-in at iHeart, and he had this whole, or I think he still has this whole brand, like straight male friend. Mm-hmm. So he talks to women. Say single,
his wife.
Tova. I know. Sorry, Tova.
Sorry, Tova. Yeah.
But he's awesome, and he is very outspoken and honest and all that good stuff about things.
So we're doing a lot of hot topics with him today.
So we're going to do broad topics with him.
Oh, broad topics. Right. Sorry.
So yeah, like Kirk Cameron later on in the show, who recently said that wives should be following their husband's lead. And
it's not recent. He's always said that.
He recently said it again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Playboy Playmate took a photo of a fellow gym goer. Did you see this?
I did.
And mocked her openly. And Jennifer Aniston isn't pregnant. News alert. And she, again. And she wrote about that for Huffington Post. And there's some mixed reaction to that. And also, Mick Jagger is having his 8th child, and no one gives a crap. Who cares?
Wait, he's having his 8th kid?
Yes, his
I
8th
love
kid.
I love that on the show notes that you have Mick Jagger connected to Jennifer Aniston. I'm like, what? So,
yes, because she is not pregnant, and everybody cares, and he is having his 8th, and whatever.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah,
he's like the what was the guy's name from The Odd Couple? There, Tony Randall. He's like our modern day Tony Randall. Do you remember Tony Randall had kids?
Oh, I was
really old. They even talked about it when Harry Met Sally. And she's like, he's too old to pick up his... I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever. I'm turning 40 someday.
No.
Anyway, it's a very, very, very busy show. But let's go back to Pokemon Go for a little bit. Have you tried it?
No.
Still nothing?
So here's the thing with Pokemon Go.
Have you guys tried Pokemon Go? Please comment. Please let us know.
We talked about this earlier in the week about this huge
we did.
like app that has this truly has broken the internet. It has caused a lot of accidents, some crime.
I wrote some notes. 2 guys fell off a cliff, I think.
Yeah.
Right? One guy got stabbed. And then this morning I read that a guy found a body in a park because he was like Pokemon going.
Well, and the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C.
That guy was
has
Pokemon
banned...
gone.
I already said that.
I know. You did.
It's everywhere. It is absolutely everywhere. My son is trying to play, and he is talking to me about it, and I'm feigning interest. So, like, he'll tell me, I'm like, oh, honey, that's really, Pikachu, Pokeball. Okay, and then I'm so disinterested, I don't care. However, I think I mentioned this before, that he is more willing to go to the mailbox than ever before.
Right.
He offers to walk the dog more than ever before, and now I am learning it's because there are Pokemon around my neighborhood. And I was laughing. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she said she went to the park, and she said it was like the zombie eclipse because people are like the Walking Dead. People were all walking around with their phones, like just totally like in a daze.
See, I don't see it that way at all. I went out with, 4 Chinese exchange students,
right?
1 daughter of a friend, and 3 of my children, plus my husband, and 3 dogs last night. Like we were a scene. And it felt like, you know that energy you get on trick-or-treating? You know, on like Halloween, everybody's out, everybody's like, it feels safe and it feels electric, and it was
clearly it feels safe with one guy stabbed and a couple people robbed, and another guy falls off a cliff, and one guy. Well, but if you have your head down in an app like this, and you're walking into things trying to find a little fake.
Yes. We have little paseos in our neighborhood, and so we took those and up and down, and nobody could go onto the street, and things like that. But my daughter, I will tell you, she had my phone because hers wasn't working for some reason, and I was holding the back of her shirt, and so that way she could have kind of free reign, because she can't necessarily do like the look up, look down thing.
Right.
You know, she's just like, it has to focus on one thing. So I was like, I'm going to hold your shirt. So that way I know you're safe.
Right.
Because she would walk into stuff.
Right.
So yeah,
Like
I mean, you
leash.
do have to have reinforcements.
Yeah, I just, I don't know. I mean, there are some people, and we'd love obviously to know what our viewers think. You know, and
Lisa
our
Malcolm
listeners.
says, no on the go.
Well, there are lots of people that say that it's a great way for them to connect with their kid. I personally, I get motion sickness, so I can't. Like my son always wants me to watch whatever he's doing on Xbox, but I can't. I get
It's that bad? That's not even motion sickness.
I don't
That's
even
like,
know, so I can't look down and I can't do all those things. So a lot of people say that it's a way for them to connect with their kids.
Right.
There's lots of adults that
I
are
actually
playing.
agree.
Yeah.
Last night when we went for a walk, we went twice as far as we usually go on our
But did you
family
talk
walk.
to your kids, or were you really just looking for Pokey?
No, we were all
Pokey,
chatting and like laughing and running and there's one and like I mean it was we were making memories. We really were like with 2 different languages and you know all these kids who have been put together and are sharing the same house and the same space. Like they had a great time together.
Yeah.
And when we got back, my son, who normally is like, I don't want to walk anymore, was like, can we go tomorrow? Let's go, let's go do more. Like, it's good. It's good.
I'm just saying some people say that has connected their family. Other people, don't want their kids to have their face in an iPod or an iPad for hours on end. So I think there's got to be some balance, but I love how quickly it's taken off.
Oh my gosh. It's bigger than Tinder. It's like, I know. That was
Wait, that was
the weirdest. Let me rephrase that, because Tinder is huge. And so they're comparing in a week and a half or whatever since it launched. It's already past like Tinder.
That's how old I am. I've never even looked at Tinder, and I've never even looked at the Pokemon Go. I've never
looked at Tinder.
I have no idea.
Do you
how
swipe
it works.
right or swipe left?
I have no idea how it works. You're really talking like a whole other language. Scouts Honor, Pinky Promise. I have no idea what Tinder. I know what it is, but I've never logged on. I don't even know what the icon is.
Who believes Kim that she's never looked at Tinder?
I'm still single. Clearly.
Well, Tinder I don't think is meant for long-lasting
it's just
loving
hookups?
relationships. I don't know. I mean, from what I hear.
No.
I wouldn't know.
I'm not into all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So, but I think, we had a really good time with Pokemon Go, and I wish when we went on our road trip that we had that, because my kids were looking at their iPads like separately or whatever, and we could have at least been in on a conversation. And
I wish,
maybe it's not necessarily stuff I want to talk about, but at least they're talking to me.
I wish that we would have come up with the Chardonnay Go thing before our dear friend.
We did. We just didn't name it that.
We've been doing that for years.
Chardonnay Go. It's just in the fridge. I don't need to chase.
Yeah. So
it's actually Pinot Noir. Whatever
yeah, we like the Pinot Noir. So it's Dina. What is her? I forget her name.
You're gonna make me look it up.
No, sorry. So there was a comedian blogger who created Chardonnay Go, and she filmed herself running all over her neighborhood in search of Chardonnay, which was
cute.
It was very cute.
The thing is, it was. I don't, here's the we're supportive of, her name's Dina Blizzard.
Yeah.
And we're supportive of all broads.
Yeah.
And it was super, super funny, cute for like 30 seconds.
Right.
And then I was just like, okay, I get the point. So I don't need to chase, just like the Pokemon thing.
Right.
I love the idea, but like after a little while,
Yeah. But I think it's funny that how long did that take for someone to do a spoof? I think like 24 hours.
If that. Yeah. And I wish we had done that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so Lisa Malcolm is commenting on Facebook. No on the go. This was in our paper today. Plus, I don't want them taking all my info. I think they fixed the info thing, didn't they? Originally. So, are you going to make me read this article, Lisa?
No, we're not going to read the article.
We're just going to do the whole headline. Pokemon Go leads to fight. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Listen,
that's what they write about in Key West. It must be a really slow news day.
No, I think the point is that, listen, the Holocaust Museum had to put out a press release saying, don't bring your Pokemon in here. Not like it's banned from the Holocaust Museum, because people are wandering around, important places, and they're playing Pokemon. And I'm not surprised that that's what they're writing about. It's incredible what's going on. our news for the last couple of nights has something been about Pokemon Go, about the robberies, the crime. There was a guy that my son was telling me on YouTube that was, he's a YouTuber, but he drives Uber for on the side. And he's
a YouTuber. Oop. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
He was driving his Uber. He was waiting for a pickup or whatever, and he was live streaming while he was driving, and he was watching these two people. Like, I don't know what was happening. He was talking about Pokemon Go, and then there was Pokemon going. They were Pokemon going, and then there was a crime that he witnessed or something. It was just crazy what's been going on.
So, you heard it here first. What's today's date? July 15th. 2016. I want to create a Pokemon Go 5K. How fun would those be around the country, right, where all these kids actually run and they have like Pokemon set up? Because I think that, yes, there's going to be stuff because people are stupid.
Right.
But if we could use this, like businesses are using it so people will come in and get their Pokemon there and have people come into their place of business, which is brilliant. But I think that it would be kind of fun to get the kids off running or do a mud run or
if you would like to be on the Pokemon Go 5K committee, contact us at broadscast.com because that's not going to be something I'm going to
do. Kim wants no part of it.
Going. Yeah.
All right. So let's move on from Pokemon. Although I can't wait till Marcus calls in because we're going to have to ask him if he's doing the Pokemon thing. If he's rocking the Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, let's go back to Jennifer Aniston for a second. What do you think about, did you read her Huffington Post piece?
I did read the Huffington Post piece. And I had to read it twice.
To update people, sorry.
Oh, right.
She says that she doesn't normally respond to gossip. And then the gist of the entire thing is, for the record, I'm not pregnant. What I am is fed up. And then she talks about how the media uses her as kind of an example of how the media treats women in general. Okay, back to you. Sorry.
Okay. I thought that the article at first glance was a little convoluted. I was having a hard time following what her point of the article was. Mm-hmm. I think I found it in bits and pieces, and then I felt like she went off tangent a little bit. So I don't know if she was trying to talk specifically about her and like was mad that people kept thinking she was pregnant and she's not. I wasn't sure if she just was mad at media in general for objectifying women. I'm not sure. I got a little confused.
Yeah. The thing is, I understand, and I even posted it on our Broadscast Facebook page, and I was like, hey, you know what? She is right in that point that you do not have to be a mom. You do not have to be a wife to be a kick-ass broad. Like you have other things in your life that mean a lot. Like it's not like you're lacking or you're missing out or anything like that. Like people make different choices.
Right.
I love that part
you
of it.
said that, but that's not what she wrote. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't.
Well, no, she did
at
one
that
point.
Involved.
At one point, it was kind of buried in there that you don't have to be a mom to be a fulfilled woman.
Okay, but then it was something else. Like, and then I just felt like I wasn't entire. I don't know if she just was in a mood. Like
she's hormonal. She's pregnant. Sorry, Jen. You're not pregnant.
I wish that it was a little bit more on
point.
On point. She's
really not a writer. She's an actress,
but
she's dramatic.
Well, actresses can be writers. I just felt like she was trying to jam a lot in there, and I wish that she would have developed the point more. Whatever the point was, I just felt like there was a lot that got thrown in that I just wish it was more developed. I mean, so I lost interest by the end.
Right. Well, I just think that you can't necessarily stand up there on the red carpet and turn this way and turn that way and what are you wearing and like live this life and go out and and not necessarily like people are fascinated. And I think that while some people are just invasive of celebrities, it's just a known fact. I think also that some people are rooting for her, and she seems like she wants a kid. I'm sorry. Even in the post, it was like, and maybe I will have a baby one day, but it doesn't define me. Like, and it was, I don't know. It just seems like thou dost protest too much. Protest too much.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Well, that's my point. Like, I wasn't sure what the point was. I do appreciate that she was probably like, oh, enough already with the pregnancy rumors. Like, leave me alone. Like, this is what the media does. They pick you apart. You and I don't necessarily agree on if you're a public person, that you're allowed to have privacy.
I disagree with that.
What? That you're not allowed to have privacy?
Of course you're allowed to have privacy.
Well, so this brings us to a good point. You posted something yesterday about, I don't even know who the woman's name is. Who's the woman?
The woman from Real Housewives.
What's her name?
Teresa.
Okay.
Teresa G.
Her.
Judice.
The one that was in jail.
I always
right?
thought it was like Judice, and parents it's like Judice or something.
But she was in jail, right?
She was.
Okay. So
and now her husband is.
Correct. So you posted something, you posted
somebody else posted
somebody posted something that she was doing an interview and she was being asked about her husband being deported because he's
Correct.
of Italian descent, and once he was released from jail, that there's something about him being deported.
Correct.
And she specifically asked. It was Kate Hoover, Kit on some show.
Mm-hmm.
She
Access Hollywood.
specifically asked her to like move on. Like, I'm not answering that. It's disrespectful.
Right.
And then Kit Kat continued to ask and press her, and she got mad and she walked off the set.
Right.
And you made a comment that, what did you say? That
she the reason she has a career is because she's a reality star. I'm not talking about anybody in the public eye, but when your life is as like you are literally paid, you feed your children because of letting the cameras in your life. Mm-hmm. And all of this stuff.
Right.
And then you willingly go on to an entertainment show to discuss your life. Don't be so surprised when they ask you a question.
I don't think she was surprised. I think she was clearly stating, I'm not answering that.
And that's fine. But first of all, get a little bit of media coaching and learn how to answer the question without answering the question.
Well,
and secondly, it's rude, really. It's rude for somebody to ask a question about your life when every week you're up on the screen talking about your life.
What we're not addressing because we don't know the information. It is very possible that she told them not to talk to her about that before she even agreed to do the interview.
Yeah, that's crap. Then don't do the interview. If you are an actress or you are a musician or,
where is the responsibility on the media though to be respectful or to But what you're saying is that the 100% onus belongs on her, and that the media shouldn't be held to any degree of accountability. That if there was
media, I get it. It's Access Hollywood, and it's like a gossip celebrity show. You know what I mean? Like, so she's on to promote her show where they show her life. They asked a question about her life, and it was completely legitimate in the news.
Listen,
they have their responsibility is to ask, why would you even have her on the show if you're not going to ask her about the things that people are talking about?
Because clearly the only reason that they wanted to have her on was to talk about that one thing when that's not promoting the whole show. So they targeted one time. Listen, I don't care about her. I don't care about the show. I don't. That stuff happens. Yes, she could have been a little bit more media savvy, but I also don't think that we give the media a free pass. They're not just, I think that's not right. Like, if you say, I don't want to talk about it, and she said it twice, I don't want to, and they pressed, and I would have walked off too. That's not okay. You do have the right as someone, whether or not you purposefully put yourself out there, to not have to answer questions.
They moved on after that. She said, I think that's
left.
Rude. And then they said, no, she said,
oh, you think that's rude that we're asking? You're putting your life. I mean, they argued with her. That's not very professional. I don't care who you are. That's just not cool. All the way around.
Agree to disagree.
Well,
okay. Are you team Kim or team Jackie?
Oh, please.
Come on. If you're a reality star, does she have, I mean, of course she has the right to not answer anything. I just think she could have done it.
But here's the thing: on that reality show,
in
she
a
doesn't
less
have
offended way.
On those reality shows, and if you talk to anybody that's been a part of them, she doesn't have control over what gets edited and what gets aired.
She has control over what comes out of her face.
I don't think they talked about it on the show. She said that part.
I know
him being.
I know, but
then she didn't do it on the show. It didn't come up on the show.
Because the show is shot way in advance and edited and this and that.
So that's
she
my
was
point.
saying it won't be on the show, but
right. That's my point. So she did not put that part of her life out into the public eye for it to be judged and scrutinized. Had she talked about it on the show and had it been filmed, then absolutely. Then the media has all of the right in the world.
They have the right to ask anyway.
Anyway, but she did not willingly put that out there. They dug for that information. They looked for. I don't
think you have to dig too hard. Listen, I'm sorry, but if you're a reality star and you're evading taxes or whatever it is that they do, to get yourself thrown in jail, like people are going to ask questions about it.
And she answers those questions. But when there's something,
But why that? Why this? Why? Well, you know what? That's her whole thing.
Because
so Dara says on Facebook that she just started watching. This was a few minutes ago. Clearly, I missed something. Don't worry, Dara, because you can actually go back and watch the whole Facebook live video, or you could subscribe.
Very compelling.
You could subscribe to Broadscast on iTunes.
Yeah.
The audio, so you can listen to us in your car or while you're walking the kids around playing Pokemon Go. See that? New things. So anyway, yeah. So let us know what you guys think, because we wanna talk with you. So coming up very soon is Marcus Osborne. He will be here. Talk about more issues. So I guess we don't agree on the Real Housewives.
I was like, that's the way Jackie just wanted me to stop talking about it.
Totally.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's talk about this Playboy Playmate. Okay. So I keep looking down, and people on Facebook are probably like, why should you keep looking down? Because I have the computer in front of me. So not only am I running the board, so if there are errors, it's my errors. If there are errors, it's my fault. I totally go into my Boston accent when I drink too much coffee.
So there was a Playboy Playmate. She was the 2015 Playmate of the Year. She was
really know about Danny Mathers.
She was in a gym, I think,
in
or
LA
a spa.
Fitness.
Oh, it was LA Fitness. And she took a picture of a woman who was in the changing room, and did she put the black bar over it, or did the media put the black bar? I don't know. So she took a picture of a naked woman and put it on her Snapchat and said, if I can't unsee this,
then you can't either.
Then you can't either. And she got ridiculed and harassed for making a body shaming type of a post on Snapchat. Right. And then she did the old, oops, I don't know how Snapchat works. Oopsie doodles.
That was just meant for a friend.
Yeah, that was meant for one friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, body shaming is not okay and not something to joke about. You know what? I'm sorry, but her apology is just
lame.
Stupid. Yeah, I got nothing else. Like, you're a Playboy Playmate and you bagged on somebody and you got caught, and she's only apologizing because somebody
got caught. She got caught.
Yeah.
Because someone said something.
So it doesn't really matter if she was trying to do it just for her friend or for the public.
Right.
She's an...
Well,
words I can't say on radio.
You can't say that body shaming isn't part of who you are and then say it was only intended for my friend. Because clearly you were sending a body shaming text.
Body shaming is not who I am in public, just with my friend.
Right.
That's pretty much what she's saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So her name is Danny Mathers, and she should go away. So she is no broad. Broads don't do that. Listen, you know what? Stop body shaming people, because we all body shame ourselves enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could go on and be like, wow, Jackie's fat. You know what? I know. Like, I have a mirror.
But what do you think about people that do? Like, I had someone that posted something on Facebook the other day that he was in a store and took a picture of someone's outfit and posted that.
People do that all the time on Facebook and stuff. And even if they don't show necessarily their faces, it bugs me. It really, really bugs me. I love the other day, you sent your son to camp and you posted a photo and you blurred the kids' faces.
I did.
I thought that was awesome.
I did.
Because it's not your place to take a bunch of pictures of these kids.
Yeah.
Like, nobody, if they're not going public of where their kid is, why should you that's not okay.
Right. Yeah. You taught me that.
I did?
You didn't teach. I mean, you did that a long time ago.
I did.
That you posted something and you blurred faces.
I put stars over their faces.
Oh, is that yeah? Yeah, but so I had a couple pictures and I found the one. I mean, I believe that. I just this concept of shaming other people and I don't even like when people post pictures of like the a-hole that parks weird in a parking spot and then they post a picture of it with their license plate.
Yeah,
I don't like that either.
I don't either.
And people feel very confident.
Because listen, we all screw up. You know what I mean? Like, we all wear bad outfits, or we all park in places that we should. Well, I don't actually do that, but you know what I mean? We make mistakes, or we're thought like, why am I still wearing my headphones? Or we still
to cover up the gray.
Exactly. I should wear the headphones right here, right? We make stupid choices, but that's a lot of identification,
right?
Putting somebody's license plate. Yeah. So talking to the mic, girlfriend.
I am talking into the mic.
We need to make that taller for next time. But yeah. So Christine says that's the beauty of social media. You get back what you put out. I hope. She's back on the Playboy Playmate. I hope she has to deal with continued backlash on this one. Payback is a biatch.
Well, speaking of, I'm not sure exactly what time Marcus is coming on, but I saw a picture.
Yeah, Marcus,
yesterday.
where are you?
I saw a picture going around. So yesterday I was on Twitter and the hashtag Freddie was trending. And so I'm like, oh, what is Freddie? Well, Freddie is the baby of some guy, Tomlinson. I think he's a One Direction. I think he's the South. The south of One Direction or the east. I don't know.
Well, it's One Direction. How would he be more than One Direction?
I don't know because there's 4 of them. So I don't know.
But they're all going in one direction.
I don't know.
It's a one-way street.
It all went downhill on Twitter. So some guy, Tomlinson. I'm so not hip. He and his girlfriend were at the beach. He's splitting up from the baby mama. He was at the beach, or it was actually, I think it was he was married and had a baby. Baby was photographed with the thing on his head, the apparatus that helps babies' heads.
The helmet?
Yeah.
Aw.
And people went to town on this poor baby and the helmet. I was so sickened.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so they were at the beach. The paparazzi took a picture of this guy, Tomlinson, and his girlfriend, his beautiful girlfriend Danielle, and the baby Freddie, and they were holding the baby, and the baby Freddie had the helmet on his head. And people on social media were making fun of the helmet. And I was like, really? It was disgusting, and it was trending. It was trending on Twitter yesterday.
They can't be parents because parents wouldn't do that.
I have no idea. My point is like the shaming and the constant.
What are they shaming him for? Being a good father and mother who actually like put the needs of their kid first?
I don't know. I just was so.
Jerks.
I just was like, we social media allows, and we've talked about this a lot. Social media allows people to be real trolls, and it was just so upsetting. This poor. I just was like, this family's out. Like, who cares if you don't agree that he left his wife and has a girlfriend? I don't really know that whole story. Don't really care about the whole story. But to go after the baby, the 6 to 7 month old baby, I just was like, people have nothing else to do. Go play Pokemon Go.
See, now it seems like a good idea, doesn't it?
Yeah, get out of here.
So if you're just joining us, you're listening to Broadscast with Kim Goldman. That's her. Jackie McDougall. That's me. And we are live twice a week, Mondays and Fridays, on the radio. So go to our website, broadscast.com, and you can click on where to find us. And
visit us on our Broadscast page. We have a whole page talking to you about broadscast.com website on special partnerships that we have where you guys can sign up for BarkBox or
yes, it's our special offers page.
Blue Apron. I don't know, some other stuff on there.
Because today's episode, we have to make sure we shout out to our sponsor, is brought to you by Blue Apron, and because they're giving you $30 off. $30 off your first order. And I did it. I actually put it on my Instagram.
Oh, you did? Right.
I have gotten Blue Apron a few times, and I love that it's totally fresh food. They have everything measured out in these adorable little containers. So like, I don't have to measure. I don't have to do anything. They have this like not cardboard, but like, nice high quality paper with all the directions and the photos and all of it. It's like it's perfect. It shows up at my house. I open the box. I throw the ice, and
Do you know what you're getting?
Yes, in advance because you can actually, if it's something that you don't like, you can skip it. That's the thing too. It's like people think I'm going to get it week after week after week. You could just hit skip for as many weeks as you want to. But if you go to broadscast.com, it's on our homepage as well as on our special offers page. It's normally $20 off, but for a limited time, you get $30 off.
Sweet.
You're a broad or bro that we like. So, what's so funny? It must be like in the water today because first you were late and now I don't even know where Marcus is.
Marcus,
what's up? Maybe I don't know. Let's go over to his page while we talk about more things. So,
okay. Are we talking about Kirk Cameron?
Let's talk about Kirk Cameron.
He has caused me some serious growing pains. I'll tell you that. Oh, do you like what I did there?
All day for that.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
So Kirk Cameron is back
Mike
in the
Seaver.
news. Oh, what is his name?
It was Mike Seaver on the
right. Okay, but Kirk Cameron, better known as Mike Seaver on Growing Pains.
Yes.
He's back in the news for his what could be very popular beliefs that a woman's place is to essentially be subservient, right?
Submissive, yes.
Yeah, but subservient, submissive to a man or her husband.
Her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just all men.
And so people are upset because of why?
because they think women have their own minds. So, I mean, the thing is, he's raised in this particular, in a recent interview with the Christian Post, he said, quote, wives are to honor and respect and follow their husband's lead, not to tell their husband how he ought to be a better husband. When each person gets their part right, regardless of how their spouse is treating them, there is hope for real change in their marriage. We should give this one a little moment of silence. What? Okay, first of all, if I took my husband's lead, we would never have a vegetable in this house, and like we'd just hang out all the time. You know, I mean, I love my husband. Hi, babe. But yeah.
But is that okay? So I do not believe in what Kirk Cameron is saying, but he says wives are to honor and respect and follow their husband's lead, not to tell their husband how he ought to be a better husband. When each person gets their part right. So
let's break this down.
Yeah. I feel like I should do a rap. Okay. So I for me, like I read it and I can appreciate that when the part that he says, when each person gets their part right, regardless of how their spouse, that's the part, like regardless of how their spouse is treating them. So you just negated the whole sentence before.
Let's start at the top though. Not to tell their husband, and by the way, it's her husband, if you want to be grammatically correct. Well, yeah, a wife. Okay. Anyway, how to be a better husband. That goes both ways. I don't think that in a marriage, our job is to tell the other person how they can be better. You know what I mean? Like my job is not to tell my husband how he could be a better husband.
Well,
my job is to be a good wife and to let him know what my needs are.
Right. But that's essentially telling him how to be a better husband.
Yes, but without...
Well, it is. I mean, this way, I mean, it sounds...
I know, but there are a lot of women out there who let the guy know on a regular basis, this is what you're doing wrong. This is...
Right. But essentially telling someone what your needs are and how... they could be a more effective listener or a better, more equal in the roles. And I mean, that is essentially telling someone how they could be a better husband for you. I mean,
I think communicating my needs and telling is not the same as telling him how he could be a better husband. Because it's not my job to tell him how to meet those needs. I just can share what those needs are.
Well, you're not telling him how to be better. It's his choice as to what he does with it.
Yeah, it is.
So my point of all this is it's about choice. Like, because
Marina says WTF to the submission bleep. No thanks.
Oh.
And then Emma says healthy relationships are all about good communication.
Right. So that's my point, that like his comment basically removes the element of accountability, that there's no I don't get to be my own person here. There's no choice in all this. I mean, I think that's the part that because if you move it down. Yep. So he says when each person gets their part right, which is funny, regardless of how the other spouse is treating them, there is hope for real change. Like those two things.
But let's break down now when each person gets their part right.
Based on what?
Because
in the sentence before, you're not allowed to tell the other person what it is that you feel or that you need. Or just the woman can't. The woman can't say how she needs what she needs.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So as long as she doesn't...
We're supposed to have roles and stay in those roles. According to what I've read from him this time and previous, we are supposed to have a role and then stay in your own lane.
Right. So if we don't talk and we are submissive, then we've got our part right. And then if we do that, then the husband will do his part, which is to be what?
A leader.
A leader. Okay.
So, yeah. But
so then what's the part
it
about
regardless of how their spouse is treating them?
I don't know. Well, that's a whole concept of the Catholic and Christian. Like, you don't.
That's not a Catholic thing. I don't.
You're not allowed to get divorced, and you only like even if there's domestic violence, like, right? Are you not allowed to?
Well,
anyway,
yeah, okay,
right.
Well, I don't think
support divorce.
No, but they also support. With the new Pope, they also support people who are being abused should not be abused. You know what I mean? So I don't think that it's like I don't know. You know what? I can't speak out of turn. I just know how I grew up and how certain people feel. But anyway. In this particular one, he feels like if you don't stay in your lane, no matter how bad you're being treated, that's what it sounds like.
Right.
If you can do that, then you can make real change in your marriage. It may make real change, just real bad change in your marriage. What what kind of marriage is that? I thought marriage is a partnership. Don't get me wrong. I think that we're happier when we have roles and we find them. And let me explain a little bit because I used to be so upset. Like, you never make date plans and you don't do this. And I'm the one who gets the babysitter and I'm the one who makes the plans and blah, 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 blah. And it used to, like, I would cry and I would be so upset and I would feel so neglected and blah, blah, blah. You know what? He's not that guy. My husband makes me coffee every single morning. He rubs my feet when he is exhausted. Like, he shows me every single day how he loves me with action, with words, all of it. He sends me texts in the middle of the afternoon. I miss you. Like, he is amazing. You know what? He's not the guy who's going to call the babysitter.
Right.
So if I don't accept that and be good with that, I'm going to be a miserable human being for the rest of my life. I am no longer that miserable person because I call the babysitter and I go, hey, guess what? Saturday night, be ready at 7.
Right. So you knowing that,
you're my date this Saturday night.
But you knowing that your husband is like that supports his comment that when you get your part right, that you're not trying to.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with roles in that find your strengths and weaknesses. It's just like in business. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a strength and they don't, work together. Like, know that it doesn't have to be written down in a guide. But he does say in the interview that a lot of people don't know that marriage comes with instructions. We find them right there in God's word. So he very much uses the Bible for his relationship.
Right.
Listen, I have nothing but respect for people in their own religion, all religions, by the way. I don't know that the Bible is necessarily the guide for marriage.
For me. For you. But see, I think that's the thing. I mean, I am not a religious person, but I know a lot of people that I have friends that they believe this, and this is how they live their life, that, like, the woman's place is in the home, that her job is to raise the kids, to do the laundry, to cook and clean, and the husband just comes home with the paycheck, just like, like they in the 50s, how it used to be, that the dinner was on the table every night and the man would come home and read his newspaper, have his drink, not get involved with, I know people like that, and he will find someone that supports that because that's what's important to him.
Right.
So that marriage might work. That would never work for me.
Right.
But
right.
I also don't subscribe to that. I wasn't raised in that. I don't read the Bible because I'm Jewish. And so I don't.
The Old Testament.
But that doesn't work for
me. Jesus
was
a Jew.
Nobody believes that. So I can appreciate part of what he's saying, but there are parts of it that then negate the point to me when he says, no matter how you're treated, that it's, the woman shouldn't basically assert herself in any way. But there are lots of people that believe that that's the woman's role. So if you get that part right, then.
Well, and that's the thing, is you need to find somebody who has the same values and has the same beliefs that you do. So that way, or at least similar or compatible, because that way you guys, the marriage would be a lot stronger.
But why do you think people are so upset with him for having this opinion and for having this belief system work?
Because it puts women, because he's very, everything's so black and white. And whether he's black and white about it, which I think he is, or the media just takes bits and pieces, he is setting women back. Like, he's sending the message that a woman is not as important. Her voice isn't as important or as valued. And I think that women have fought for a long time to have that. And they feel that he, in his Mike Seaver way, is pulling that down. Here's the thing. I talked with a couple separately. I interviewed them for a previous article for another website, and I don't think it ever actually ran, but I talked to them about their own submissive marriage, and it was really fascinating because he was saying that his role is to be the leader. And so to be the leader, he needs to listen to his wife. He needs to value her opinion. He needs to consult with her and her feelings, but ultimately he would be the one to make the final decision.
Right.
I kind of like that. Like, I have to tell you that
you would never survive in that.
If I could let go of some of the onus, like, I feel like so much is on me, so many decisions. So, like, if they're going to invest their money, he does all the research and he, like, presents it to her and she gives her opinion, but ultimately it's his choice.
Right.
That's pretty much, actually, I'm the dude. My husband is submissive.
But my point specifically,
sorry,
though,
honey. Actually, I'm not sorry.
But my point specifically to this is that people get very upset but this is how he is operating in his marriage and his life, to his beliefs. Like, why are people so upset? Like, it goes back to every other LGBTQ question, people, what kind of fetishes they like, who they like to have sex with. Like, who cares if it doesn't impact you? Like, I laugh at that. Like,
Do you agree that, I mean, he's going public. It's not like this is his marriage. Like
but so what? It doesn't impact me. Like,
and there are a lot of other people who live like that.
And there are a lot of people that buy his books and listen to his speeches and support exactly. And they're like, finally, someone who believes what I believe, is out there speaking publicly about a way of life. Like, I just don't understand why there's such backlash over someone having an opinion that is different than yours. Like, good. If that works for you, knock yourself out. If you found a woman that subscribes to that and it works for you, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
It just doesn't for me.
But here's the other thing. As long as it really works for the woman, I do believe that there are relationships out there that a woman is submissive, not because this is what works for the marriage, but because she has been beaten down into this role. And I think it's really a slippery slope that we have to be careful. And as women, support women and really not allow... I don't know, raise girls, first of all, to have strength and self-esteem to enter into a relationship that really works for them. Right. Because submissive as a choice, okay, but submissive because you don't have enough self-esteem to be yourself, right, that's dangerous.
Right.
And that's bad. And we need to, so I guess it's really important to have these conversations, because maybe there's a woman out there who's in a submissive relationship and that's not really for her. We have a couple more comments. So Danielle says, Christian women are supposed to submit to their husbands as the head of the house, faith-wise, but it doesn't work that way all the time. And husbands are supposed to love their wives like Christ loves the church, which is actually a much bigger sacrifice, with us being women and all. It's a partnership. He's an idiot, though. He's adding a bunch of other stuff to it. Dumb.
Well, and I think that's my point. Like, there are parts of it that I'm like, oh, I can understand what he's saying. But then he adds that, like, like using a word like regardless, and it negates. I just think it negates all of it, because it takes away the empowered part, which... If a woman chooses to be part of a relationship, if a man chooses to be part of a relationship where they respect each other's roles, they acquiesce when they need to, they know when to not fight. Like, right. Knock yourself out.
Pick your battles.
Pick your battles. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Marina says, emotionally charged issues always make people get excited. How to have a marriage in control of others. Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely an emotional issue. And I think that, it always comes back to do what works for you. But if you're in a relationship, like, there is a fine line, I think, with submissive, again, by choice, and abuse. And so I feel like if you're in a relationship, ladies, or gentlemen, where you are in that submissive role because of abuse, that's not okay.
Right.
But there are going to be people.
But if you were raised in a home where that's all you've known, and that belief system has been perpetuated decade after decade, you don't know that you're in that. To you, it's abusive. If you're in a relationship that's submissive, it's right. Emotionally abusive. But to someone who that's all they've been taught, that your role is to be subservient and to be submissive and to live your life as Danielle says, as much like Christ loves church, like that's not abusive. That's you are living your life in honor of your religion and in honor of, yes.
I understand. But what I'm saying is, if you're listening to this right now and the life that you're leading doesn't feel right and doesn't feel like a choice, like, I'm serious, like, get help. Like, we'll email us, like, we'll find you, because it's, Marina talks about, she writes extensively about verbal abuse and the damage it does, in addition to the fact that people do not talk about it and sugarcoat or justify it. It's a slippery slope. And I just escalated it to this. It's true. It's true. And she says, even if you grow up with it and find it normal, is it not abuse, or is it? I don't believe it's abuse, like you have said. If two people are going into this and they have these roles and it works for them, I'm just saying if you're in this relationship and you feel stuck.
All I'm saying to you is that if I'm not making it okay. I'm saying that if you're in it, it's all you've known. You don't know that it's not normal. You don't know that you are you don't know because it's all you've been told.
Right.
And
well, it's just like the work you do.
I was just going to say that's what I'm trying to say. Like if you're in it.
Okay, first of all, you need to stop holding the camera that all you can see is this thing.
My arm is asleep.
My shoulder here. You want to switch? My shoulder into my arm that I hasn't gotten to work out in a while. It looks like a body part. Here, I'm going to go like this.
Okay, do that. I'm seriously, my elbow hurts. My arm is asleep. I only signed on for this part for the first 10 minutes, and here we are.
I know.
So, no.
Thanks, Marcus.
My point is that if you're in a relationship, however you're in it, if you modeled what you grew up with, so you're in a relationship that is very much how you were raised in the church with your family, whatever it was, you don't know that it could be different. You don't know that you're stuck. You don't know that it's abusive. You don't know some of those things because you weren't taught any differently.
But if you are exposed to other things and that feels more right, I mean, whether it's the kids in your that, you know, if you're just joining us or you've lived under a rock, you know, Kim works, she's the executive director of the Youth Project, and you do a lot of counseling for these kids.
Right.
And so it could be abuse, it could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be, you know, sexual abuse, it could be anything. And so I think some of those kids go to school then and they see like, oh, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. Or they turn to you because they're not really sure, but they think it might not be normal.
Right.
And you help them.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. I just, you know, we talk very quickly in saying that, you know, if you're in a submissive relationship, that's abuse. But I'm thinking
that's not what I'm saying at all. Okay.
Yeah, I know we're not. I think that when you don't know, or when things are told to you in church or in your religious studies or in, you know, out of God's point of view, that sometimes it's hard. It's hard to know. Right. You know, because you don't want to be disrespectful to your faith, to your religion, to your spirituality, to your upbringing and culture.
Plenty of cultures. Yeah,
and I think that, you know, it's hard. Marriage is hard in general, regardless if you're subscribing to God's will or the way of the church. I mean, it's just hard in general. So I think that, you know, when you add the other element to like, but that's what Kirk Cameron, there's lots of people that want that works. I don't know. I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know.
And it does work for a lot of people, you know. And his sister, Candace Cameron Bure, has talked about how she follows her husband's lead and she takes a submissive role. And she actually, you know, agree with her or not, I actually find her to be pretty intelligent. And she and her husband seem to have found something that works for them. I don't think she's like.
Do you think it's a coincidence that both of them have that same?
No, that's how they were raised. That's exactly what that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but from the same show, like just, I don't know.
No. Candace Cameron Bure. His sister. From
Full House. Fuller House. Sorry.
No, not Tracy Gold. Gold's the opposite.
Sorry, Tracy.
We should have Tracy on our show sometime. She lives like up the street.
Yeah.
So
sorry,
Tracy. No, because actually I was when I was looking for what Kirk was saying, I saw an old promo for Oprah, Where Are They Now, which this one's been on. And she was talking about how one time she tweeted that she believes, you know, in equal rights for all. And the media, going back to what you said, totally took that as like a Tracy Gold versus Kirk Cameron. They hate each other and they're so angry.
Right. Maybe that's why I had them linked in my head.
Well, and they were both on Growing Pains. And she was like, yeah, we never even talked about it. Like, it wasn't like me versus him. People were asking her opinion based on what he said. Mm-hmm. And she gave it, and then she eventually called him, and they both agreed to disagree. So,
right.
Marina is saying she was also in a verbally abusive relationship and justified it as not a big deal. Not saying that it is what this is, but people live in denial when they're in abusive. Yes, I agree. Whether it's in a relationship or in parenting.
That's one of the things that we deal with a lot with our kids, that pointing out, especially with young girls, we do surveys with our young girls about what is an abusive relationship. We give them like a
That's
quiz.
Good. Yeah.
And it's amazing that when you ask a girl, if someone were to call you a big fat cunt, is that verbal abuse? No. All hands down will say no. If someone continues to, you know, call you names day after day, is that verbal abuse? No. Like, or is that abuse? No. They really only view abuse with physical. So,
wow.
It's interesting. And you know, law enforcement agencies and the child protective services agencies that I work with, they're being more open to taking cases that involve emotional and verbal abuse. It's very hard to prove that, but they're very, when we call and we say we have a parent that, repeatedly is saying XYZ to their kid, and we think that it's verbal or emotional abuse, they're quicker now to take those cases than they were before.
Really?
Which is great.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard one case, I don't work in this field, but where a child was removed because of verbal or emotional abuse.
I didn't say they'd be removed. There's just a case that gets opened, and there's resources that get provided. There's conversations that get had, and then there's that family's flag that if that could escalate into something more severe. But we've had kids that will say, my day after day, my mother and my father, are constantly telling me that I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm a loser, and it does have take its toll. And my point is that the Child Protective Services are now more willing to open up the dialogue around that kind of level of abuse. But a kid probably would not be removed from a home in that situation. But
right.
The point is the conversation is being had.
Hey, so if you look at what's trending, we only have a few minutes left. It's, oh my gosh, this hour has flown by and we're still on. Are you all right?
Yeah.
So if you look at Facebook, at least on mine, what's trending, not only did what we mentioned earlier in Nashua, New Hampshire, a man playing Pokemon Go discovered a body in an area park. 3 girls in San Diego also found a body while playing Pokemon Go. Where are the police?
Police are not playing Pokemon Go. Maybe if they played Pokemon Go, they would help solve some of these cold cases.
I think, you know what? We need to give the FBI or the Homeland Security Pokemon Go so they can get ISIS. You know what I mean? Is that what it's going to take to take down ISIS? Is Pokemon Go?
So wait, these kids.
Look, I found,
So wait, these kids were just roaming around the park playing Pokemon Go, and they found a dead body?
The girls were walking through the park on Thursday before 3 p.m. local time when they found the body, adding the body likely belongs to a homeless person who died of natural causes. Yeah. I mean, this is a whole thing. I could see this on Saturday Night Live where they're like, the other guy was playing Thursday behind the Holocaust Memorial, and the victim has not been identified. And then you've fallen off cliffs. And hey, if you are just joining us, this is Broadscast with Kim Goldman and me, Jackie McDougall. And we are on live twice a week, right?
Yes, twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. And then you can also download or find us on iTunes and iHeartRadio, right? And then a bunch of stations all across the country.
Go to broadscast.com and then click on where to find us to do that, because the radio stations could be in your area. There are 8, I think, at this point. Danielle says, as a Christian wife, I have a godly man who leads our family. It's easy for me. Not all women have that. And therefore, it shouldn't be expected in every Christian home. Men got to step up and, I can't read the rest. Earn that respect. Mine definitely has. That took a long time to type. Baby woke up. Good talk, ladies. Thank you so much for listening, Danielle, and to everybody else, to Marina and all the comments and stuff. I really kind of, we need to get our intern back in the studio next week so she can hold the thing.
So the arm doesn't fall
Emma,
asleep.
come back to us.
I just want to say, I'm going to be Debbie Downer for a second. It is Friday, and yesterday there was another attack in Nice, France on Bastille Day. And their numbers are climbing. When I originally heard the story, there were 30 people that got run down by a truck that
carrying explosives.
Yeah, and I think it's up to close to 70 plus people now that died in that attack. And I just didn't want to not have the moment.
I agree.
Without acknowledging that obviously I'm not changing my icon or anything. I'm not a big fan of that, but I do believe in bringing awareness to something that I think we all can play a part in. I'm not sure what we're supposed to do except stay involved, stay motivated, pay attention to who's being voted into office, regardless of who you think. Know what those people's stake and belief systems are in terrorists. And,
but it's happening all over the world.
Yeah.
And, my heart goes out to the people of France, the people of the U.S., the people of the Middle East, where it happens all the time. And I feel like we don't necessarily change our profile pictures because it's expected or something, because you know what I mean? That's where ISIS is coming from or terror. It makes me sad and it makes me feel helpless.
Yeah.
that I feel like, wow, we should be able to do something, and I'm not sure what. So
I don't know. Me neither. That's why I said I'm exhausted. I feel like my posts are always about some kind of tragedy, some national tragedy. So I don't know. I just wanted to have a moment to say
thank you, Kim.
Compassion for our neighbors to
Absolutely.
whatever side of I'm some geography idiot. So our neighbors in France.
She's like, oh, it's like One Direction for you when it comes to geography.
I didn't do well. Geography.
All right, that's it. We only have seconds left. So thank you so much for listening live on the radio, for listening live on broadscast.com, for being on Facebook with us.
Anti-Stark Social for always monitoring our website. Thank you.
Exactly. And we will see you guys next week. Have a great
Peace
weekend.
out.
Bye.
Bye.